Hello and welcome back to the NHL Best Bets. Last night we had a good games, few top games in both conferences. Colorado played at home against Vegas. This was their fourth game on a row, and we had also pick for the game here. Unfortunately, Colorado didn't wake up after their nice victory on Saturday evening at Lake Tahoe and were sleeping at least first two periods in a game. Vegas won at the end 3-0 and it would be like 5-0, 6-0 very easily without Colorado's goalie, Mr. Grubauer's great effort. Also, Marc-Andre Fleury was playing pretty well at Vegas goal, so his shootout was well deserved. And then other game we had Dallas visited Florida. Altogether 77 shots in the game, but only 3 goals, and the fourth one to the empty net, so only 4 goals overall. And pick was wrong. Not a very good results of the picks last night, Tommy.
Yeah, back to basics for us. So a little bit red this time around, but still quite good picks, I'd say. Especially the Florida Dallas game that, like you said, 75 shots, only 4 goals. So even with the better goalkeepers, the save percentage shouldn't be like a 95 like it was now. So Florida had a lot of chances in the power play. They could have scored a couple of more. Dallas turned the game fast. They could have scored maybe 2-3. But of course, it's always a bad pick when it goes wrong by 2 goals. So no luck there. But yeah, it was a definite high-scoring game that goaltenders now ruined for us. So a very good game from Goodhobin and a good game from Chris Drieger as well in Florida net. So no excuses, a bad pick this time. And then in Colorado, quite the opposite performances from the goalkeeper. So Marc-Andre Fleury again surprised us by shutout and saved, I think, more than 30 shots in that game as well. So excellent game from Flower again. One of the best keepers at the moment, actually in the statistics, the best keeper of the league. By the save percentage at least. So yeah, hard game for Colorado. Not the best performance from the goalkeeper, but very even game altogether. Vegas scored all their 3 goals in the second period, so a little fluke there from the Avalanche. And of course, when you can't score a single goal, there's something amiss in the offense. So probably again a lot of hours with a video checking how to break through these better defenses like Vegas has. So a long night for Colorado Avalanche.
Yeah, there were a few other bounce backs as well, together with the Vegas. Like we discussed yesterday, Tampa, always a dangerous team, came back and won Carolina. Carolina gave a good effort, but wasn't enough at home. Tampa won 4-2. And there were quite a few other road victories as well. LA took a nice 3-0 victory over St. Louis, and Minnesota, like we predicted, won quite easily San Jose 6-2. Do you think home teams are squeezing too much their stick, or what was the reason that they couldn't deliver last night?
It was the goaltenders of the visiting teams had really good games, especially when you take a look at the scores in Toronto. Toronto, Calgary, 0-3, and another similar result in St. Louis that the Los Angeles Kings got the win. So the goaltenders did keep their teams in the game, and then the visitors in both games managed to score the necessary goals. So a very tight games all over, but Jonathan Quick for Los Angeles Kings and Jacob Markstrom was it Markstrom who played? No, it was Dave Rittich again.
Yeah.
who played for Calgary. So excellent goalkeeping, which helped the visitors this time around. Have to say from the Toronto game that their power play was not good. They have been really good on power play, and you think that Auston Matthews, Mitch Marner, William Nylander, all these guys, they could score if they have 2 minutes of 5 against 3, but didn't really deliver. So these are the things that Toronto will then fall if they are to fall, if they cannot produce on the power play when given these chances. So this was pretty much Toronto's own sort of doing that they lost the game. Calgary was not that much better team that the score would indicate, but they did use their chances a lot better to their advantage.
Yeah, and when the goalie is good, the even shooting doesn't make too big a difference. Like in Minnesota, I think shots were exactly same, or how was it, 34-33 for Minnesota, and then they won the game 6-2. So Kaapo Kähkönen played reasonably well, and Mr. Jones not so great.
Yeah, when the differences on the ice are really, really marginal, especially in these sort of games like San Jose, Minnesota, neither of the teams the top of the league, but still very competitive. So when on the ice everything is quite even, then the goaltender is the one factor that will turn the game either way.
Yeah, and I think Minnesota has understood that they need to win these games in order to take the fourth position in the division, and they have been playing reasonably well to take it. So let's see, interesting matchups right now in West Division. Of course, there's different amount of games played, but Colorado, Los Angeles, Arizona are all with 19 points, and Minnesota is 18, 1 point behind. So there will be maybe Colorado, when they play with more games, pull away from that pack, but be very tight fight for the last playoff spot.
Yeah, I think all of the teams are still in it, and it's the matter of who gets to win these games. Like now, Minnesota made a definite difference to San Jose due to this win, and the same goes when the California teams are playing together. That which one of these teams will be the one to try and compete for the playoff spot, because it does look like we've been predicting all along that Vegas and San Luis and Colorado will be the top 3 teams, but the fourth spot will be it will be fought hard for between Arizona and the California teams and Minnesota.
Tonight there will be 6 games, at least based on current schedule. We have again one game winner pick here, and then other one for the total bet. Nashville goes to Detroit, and neither team hasn't performed very well. They are quite low in many statistics and rankings currently. And when you take a look of the division standing, both are the last 2 ones there. Detroit dead last, and Nashville just 1 point above them. Goalkeepers have performed sometimes well, like Juuse Saros should start in Nashville, and then in Detroit both Bernier and Grease have had their chances, but still there's a lot of room for improvement, especially in the offense. So these teams played or have scored around 2 goals per game, so under 5.5 is very valuable pick here. Then Chicago goes to Columbus. They have played week ago in their matchup. That was split 1-1 then, and now Chicago has a good plus 119 odds. We trust in Kevin Lankinen again to shut out Columbus, and that's one of the reasons why we have a underdog on the road here.
Yeah, the game in Detroit is between the two of the worst teams in this division. So Nashville against Detroit, like you said, goaltenders of both teams have not been top notch, but they've given the chance for their teams to win. But neither team is able to score a lot. I think with these struggles that they've been going through, especially Nashville, where a lot more was expected. I think they're going back to basics. They will start from the defense. They will make sure they're not leaking easy goals, and that will probably translate into low-scoring game and very tight affair here. Nashville, of course, in a situation that they do need to start winning these games because they're not supposed to be at the bottom of the division. Detroit, on the other hand, is what is it's expected of them, but they still want to show that they're not that bad a team. So I think the under is a good pick here. And then Columbus, Chicago, our favorite pairing. I think we picked most of their games one way or another. A very close battle again. Neither team offensively very strong. Of course, Chicago has a couple of star players, Patrick Kane, Dominic Kubalik, and the like. Still missing a couple of big guys up front. So very tight game as well. Excellent goalkeeping. Joonas Korpisalo for Columbus. Kevin Lankinen probably for Chicago could be Malcolm Subban, but both goaltenders for Chicago played really well. So I think it's going to be a very low scoring game as well. And this 3-2, 2-3 kind of affair. And when you get the positive odds, such as now we do for Chicago, I think this is a very good pick. And I think Chicago will win this 3-2 in the overtime.
Based on your apparel, do you think Pittsburgh will have chances against Washington on the road as they are now, let's say, recovering from Sidney Crosby's 1,000 game parties?
Yeah, I do hope so, actually. In the simulations, we do have it really like a coin flip game, so 50-50. But with the odds of plus 120, 112 for Penguins, I think they could be a good pick as well. But it's a very tight game. Always good games between Capitals and Penguins, and I'm looking forward to watching that one. So let's see how Penguins are countering. They lost last time to Washington. It's been up and down for both of these teams. So very nice game between the two juggernauts of this Eastern Division.
Any other good values in simulations for tonight's games?
Actually, surprisingly little value this time. Not a lot of attractive picks. Like we had a little struggle picking up these two selections. New Jersey is playing Buffalo. There is a little value for the visitor there, who is underdog in this case, but the simulations indicate Buffalo to win about 55%. So there is a good value there. But New Jersey came off from a little bit of a break. They lost to Capitals. Not a very good game from them, except for the start. So they allowed Capitals to score a couple of goals. Buffalo, on the other hand, also this sort of very highly unpredictable team that sometimes we get a really good performance. They score a lot of goals and then suddenly something happens and nothing works. So I would stay away from that game just because it's Buffalo Sabres there. Otherwise, slim pickings, I would say. We do have small value for home underdog, a heavy one in Ottawa. Facing Montreal. They did win the last game, but there could be another case of bouncing back from a little bit better team by Montreal, so also a little bit risky. We do have a value of 44.6% winning for Ottawa as a home team, while the odds are plus 166, so there is 11% of side value here if you're looking for a home underdog.
Yeah, if you are very much behind in your scheduled profits, I think this home underdog would be always good bet with so high odds. But let's see how those games go. We'll, of course, follow up all of them and return back to the great picks tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.